This is Lucas Ryder, executive producer of The Blacklist and writer of episode 702, Louis T. Steinhil Conclusion. You're listening to The Blacklist Exposed on Golden Spiral Media.
Dum 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 dum. Maybe. Welcome to the award-winning The Blacklist Exposed podcast. I'm Agent Troy Heinrichs.
Dumb. That's what that was. And I am Agent Aaron Peterson. And are you telling me that 200 of Caterina's men against our boy is a no-win situation? I hope they brought a good supply of body bags. Thanks for joining us once again as we discuss number 27 on the Blacklist this week. Louis T. Steinhil, written by Lucas Ryder and directed by Court Hessler, who's been on this very, very podcast.
He sure has. Go check out his awesome interview back in season 6.
Yep. Show notes and other intel for this episode of The Blacklist Exposed can be found where? At theblacklistexposed.com.
Production actually called and said they're out of body bags because Kaplan used them all in season 4.
Dumb. Dumb.
It's going to be a long evening. All right, on this episode, we'll cover off on the profiling question from last week. We'll get into the case profile for the second part of this 2-part series with Louis T. Steinhil, the illusionist. And then we'll get into a little bit of Red's rhetoric, a different kind of Red's rhetoric this week, and then some special agent intel from all of you. So let's go ahead and jump right in, Aaron.
Hey, hold back, because I'm on the show. I didn't know we were doing that. What are we doing different? I'm all excited now. There's like, woo, we're changing things up.
You gotta, it's called the tease. You gotta stick around to see what happens.
Does that mean I have to listen to the podcast? Because I'm on it. So I would think I'd have it covered by then.
I'm pretty sure people know about where it jumps in. You can just skip the whole thing, All
right.
And get to the Red parts. They're not here to listen to us. They're here to listen to Red.
I get that. That's fair. Okay. I do want to preface, this is the conclusion of our premiere. So now I officially, I tend to have I don't usually drink during a podcast, but I'm going to do it because I do it during the premiere and the finale. It's like my little thing. So if you hear any glass in my plastic solo cup, or if you hear me getting a little giddy near the end, that's what happened.
The end?
Well, I didn't start. I started now. I'm starting now. I'm building to the end.
Just ask the question from last week.
What was the question? Oh, yeah. How will Red escape Caterina? Rebecca said, I don't know, but I got a good feeling Dom will be involved.
Close.
Yeah, close. Not too bad. Brandon said, I don't think Red will be able to escape from Caterina now. He's tried once. She's going to take extra precautions, and I think he could be held captive for a few more episodes yet. Wrong!
I'm glad, because always it'd be like Courtroom 2.0, but Caterina's courtroom.
Oh. Yeah. We're good. Right. The task force has arrived.
That's right.
We're good.
KB said, I think Caterina's eventually going to let Red go when she is sure that he isn't the reason for her being on the radar again. She's just trying to see if Raymond is the leak and if he betrayed her. There's a lot of pronouns in there. Plus, Judy said, I think Red will actually get inside help from probably a certain nurse, perhaps a bit smitten by him. And then he will sneak and, if need be, shoot his way out of the compound. I don't believe the task force will save him. He will save himself.
Well, half right, because the nurse did help. Duplicitously and then realistically. And I'm smitten by her. I find her quite delightful. I hope she sticks around for a while.
And I guess KV would be right, too, because Caterina allowed the nurse to let him escape. Because the nurse was part of Caterina's plan so that they could track him. Yeah. So
also got a call from James Steen. Had a hard time making out the call. James must have been jamming the signals like Red last week, but good to hear from you, buddy, and hope all is well. Next week's profiling question. Is this the Katerina Rostova? This is a yes or no. We're going to give you our opinions here shortly, but what is your opinion? Because we're not the only people that matter. What is your opinion? Is this the Katerina Rostova? No
maybes. Got to pick a side. A or B, yes or no, 1 or 0s, live or dead.
I don't know if you've ever picked a side. Well, yes and no, but not quite, but maybe, but sideways. We look at it this way, and then maybe she's a rat.
Well,
like legitimately a rodent of some sort.
Speaking of getting caught in the middle, let's not get caught in the middle of some more family drama and dig into this week's case profile. Those Rostovs, I tell you. What a delightful bunch.
I just I can use dum-dum in a very entertaining way. It's making me happy. I haven't really got to use that much the last little bit. All right, so Steinhil and Katarina share pleasantries over the... Not doing it, Troy. You know I can't say words like that.
Exsanguination.
Yep, whatever that is. Of Red, the nurse, Mila. It was Mila, right? They pronounced it Mila?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Now known as Francesca. Also, I'm going to call her Frankie, because that's what she goes by. Ends up helping Red escape only because she is the pawn that helped Caterina track Red to Dom's house. We learn about an incident in Belgrade that supposedly put a rift between Dom and Katarina, making the rearview window story less believable now, since that doesn't seem like the last time he saw her. Katerina, I didn't necessarily say that was the last time he saw her. That's just what you believe, isn't it? Katerina storms the farmhouse, but everybody survives. Barely, as Liz and the task force save the day, but not before Francesca has to attempt to save Dom's life. But we don't know if Dom's going to make it. But he looks alive at the end, so I think he'll be fine.
Breathing, but don't know how much damage was done to his brain with the lack of oxygen and lack of blood.
The only reason you're alive is what you did for Dom, which means Dom is still alive.
Well, yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Not moving. He's laying there. Could be a vegetable.
That's what Red said to Frankie. Now, the only reason you're still here is because of what you did for Dom, meaning he's still alive. If he would have died, I don't think he would have felt that debt paid. Or need to be paid.
Do you think he's going to die next episode? It's like one of those, you hang over and then first 10 minutes?
No. If he was going to die, he would have already been dead. And you wouldn't have Liz bouncing out of her apartment with Agnes, all smiley. Nope, he's alive. He's fine.
Yeah.
I have zero doubts that Dom is alive.
Okay.
You?
Maybe hang out another episode or two and then pass away. I don't know.
Okay.
There's like an 80-20, maybe 50-50. I really can't make a decision at this point.
I think he's going to be fine.
I hope he'll be fine. I love Brian Denny. Is he 81? 81. That was a fun line.
Yeah. He's not spry. All right, let's get into our characters. Let's start with music.
Yeah, first tune this week is when Caterina finally arrives at Dom's house. Over the battle, we do hear Death March by Algiers. And then later, as Frankie operates on Dom to save his life, we hear Force of Habit by Charlie Cunningham.
I like that one.
It was really good. And then, of course, all these great songs are available on the playlists, both on Spotify and Apple Music. You can get links for those over on the website, where, of course, theblacklistexposed.com.
Well, my friends, we're going to dive into all the actual characters now. And if you're a first-time listener, that's how we do everything. We give you a brief recap of what the episode was, and then we break down each character because we figure we can dive into the juice, the nougat of the candy bar. Aram, I don't know where I'm going with that.
I'm super hungry now.
I'm pretty sure the vodka's kicking.
Does Dom have anything in the cellar?
Aram, he met someone he felt comfortable enough to meet without Dembe. That's when Aram is kind of recapping. And then they're like, without Dembe, must be some secret. Now, really, Aram doesn't have much to do this episode. He really doesn't. But I thought that was a fun little play because there's a lot of hints to Caterina throughout this episode, and that's really the biggest one. Must be some secret.
Some secret.
Did Aram really do anything? I mean, obviously, he was involved in trying to track him down, but that's really the gist of...
Yeah, but we've talked about this over the years, where if you have a character that doesn't seem like they're very prominent in one episode, that
they get the whole episode the next
week. It's all Aram, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. Yeah. No, I get that. I'm just saying, this week. We're only on this week, and this week, not a whole lot of Aram.
Checked the warehouse, found out about the ghost guy. Yeah, it was pretty light for Aram.
G-host. I like that. I was laughing out loud. I'm like, got it. No, my favorite, the delivery was great because it's like, G-host. And they were like, ghost? I'm like, well, yeah.
and it was cool that they used it because it ties right into the whole Caterina as a ghost story.
Absolutely. It was just that you had to have somebody follow it up with ghost. Yeah, we can spell. Got it. But somebody probably at home did not get it. And they're like, I don't get. Oh, so It was probably necessary.
Host?
All right, Wrestler. There was an interesting discussion. The Halloween story leads to an interesting discussion with Wrestler over what he, Cooper, and Aram have thought about to protect Liz so she can live her life. Now, again, Aram and Wrestler are kind of background characters this episode. They don't get a whole lot to do. There's a lot of Caterina, a lot of Red, a lot of Dom. So, but this was something that kind of took me by surprise. I really thought that was interesting. So they've had a conversation we haven't seen on screen about how they would protect her so she could live her life. What did you take away from that?
Well, I took away that I didn't see it on screen, so it must not be true. So therefore, Wrestler is just feeding her a bunch of crap. It's just to make her feel better. But really, she's just going to die because Wrestler doesn't care. According to your rules.
What? Fair. It's accurate. That's accurate.
No, I think it's great. I think that the fact that you tie that into Cooper's line later where he talks about that they're the family, it really shows that they're doing everything they can to make sure that Liz can finally have some sense of normalcy after all the crazy she's been through. And unfortunately, I think that crazy is going to continue for many, many episodes to come.
That crazy's next door. I just want to say last week I predicted Caterina's going to end up being her nanny. We're one step closer. Neighbor's pretty close, but I think we're going to get all the way to nanny.
Or grandmother, because she sure looks like her granddaughter.
That was a nice little touch. Don't jump ahead, man. I got a whole format that I spent time on this. Let's get there.
I figured the faster we get through it, the faster you get drunk on your drinking, so...
Well, no, the more you talk, that's when I sip. So if you contribute more, I drink more. And then everybody else, I guess it's kind of really a betting game at this point. Half the people want to see if I get hammered and what happens at the end. And the other half are like, can you guys please be professional and responsible?
Well, in that case, then I'll just go ahead. Cooper said...
Sip time!
You wouldn't have had to ask them if he'd have just been honest with you in the first place. So
this one's to John. I'm pouring one out for my home.
So the question with this whole thing is, does Red really owe Liz any answers? Does he have to say anything? Is there any, like, where do you stand on that? Does he owe her an explanation?
You know where I stand on this. I've said it for every episode of this entire. Yes, Cooper is 100% accurate. He's in the right. Yes, he owes her answers. There comes a moment in this episode, which we'll get to later, but where Red actually throws the guilt truck, just parks the guilt truck right on her person. And I'm just sitting there going, what are you doing? And he does it, and he does it so convincingly and kind of diabolical in a way. And I'm just screaming at my TV. I'm like, no, you don't get to make that. You don't get to say that. You don't get to. No, there's no packing your bags. We're not going on a guilt trip. No. Sorry. So, yes, I'm with Cooper 100%. He should. Red. This isn't on Liz. She deserves to ask those questions and get those answers because her entire life has been dismantled and disrupted because of all of this. And she still is kind of in the dark. She still doesn't really know what's what. She just kind of knows whatever Red filled her with.
But is it because of Red, or is it because of choices Caterina made?
Okay, here's how you answer this question. Really, really simple. I mean, yeah, it's because we don't know. We won't know until the very end of the show. The entirety of that, right? But she was living a perfectly, seemingly normal life until Red Reddington showed up to the FBI building. Correct or incorrect?
Well, technically,
I said seemingly.
Well, because
her life was not disrupted or anything else until he walked in those doors.
Well, Red also did put Tom in her life, so I guess depending on if you were living with Tom, if you liked Tom or not, it could have been disrupted before then.
So also because of Red, correct?
Correct.
So would you not agree that everything negative in her life, even though Caterina might have been a catalyst at one point, Red sure has been as well?
Yeah, I guess so, because even though Red was putting Tom in her life to protect her, take care of her because of Caterina, which is really Caterina's issue, because Red also had enemies, it's those enemies that ended up disrupting the balance, right? Because Tom flipped sides and went to Berlin. So that was because Berlin was mad at Caterina. That's because Berlin was mad at Red specifically. And so that literally then just domino effects from there. And that's why we are where we are today.
Okay, so do you think that Red should be honest with her?
No, because I still think it's Red's stuff to tell. It's like, it's my story, it's my background, it's my history. You know, if there's something very deep and personal in my life that I don't want someone to know about, even if it affects the other person, it's still my story to tell. So therefore, I should have the right to be able to tell the story in my own time, in my own way, when it's the right moment.
But isn't she searching? But isn't she searching for answers as to who she is and why this man is in her life, which directly relates to that question?
But at the same time, she also said last week, I don't care who he is. I just know that I need to go save him.
Yeah, that's true.
So she bounces again.
But no, not really. That's the now. She's still on that same path. It's just she's already asked the questions, already triggered this,
Townsend directive or whatever.
Yeah, basically. She's already triggered it because she did that before. So she's still in the same argument she made last week. She hasn't changed her argument.
Okay.
She's just living with the results of last season.
I can buy that.
All right.
For 50 cents. Not a whole $1, but I can buy it.
Now I got In the Club in my head. All right. Renee, a.k.a. The Illusionist, kept everything need to know. No one knew the woman's name. If the situation were reversed, would he show you mercy? No. Then you can't either. And she didn't. And she theoretically put a bullet in his head. Oh, wait. Aram found out G-Host got him safe. Or he got himself safe, as he was the ghost, just like he was the fireman. So what did you think about The Illusionist? We have a Blacklister that's still free. 2 episodes, by the way, and that guy's still going free.
Yeah, and I thought it was really, watching the first time, I'm going like, did he really just cop out and kill himself? Like, that is just such BS and bad writing, and I was really angry for like a good 15 minutes. And then when it comes out at the end that he was totally alive, I'm like, of course he is. Of course he is, because he's like the fireman in the museum that stole the painting. Sure, this makes total sense.
Did you feel like a dum-dum?
I sure did.
Good.
Sure did. I was like, damn it, they got me.
It's bad writing. No, I'm just a dum-dum.
And it was so telegraphed too when you like go back and watch it the second time, because the lady at the costume store, she's got like the fake blood on her head from like a head wound, and then of course he's got the fake blood on his head too, and it's like, oh man, why didn't I see that? I did see that. I am a dum-dum.
He was he's literally called the Illusionist. They even give you the Halloween story where it's kind of foreshadowed. So I'm like, oh, he's not dead.
The whole time I'm like, there's got to be a back door. He's got to escape somehow. And then when he's dead on the floor, I'm like, well, that was dumb. I fell for it.
All right. Mila Laporte, a.k.a. Francesca Campbell, a.k.a. Frankie, a.k.a. 68 Whiskey, who's played by Natalie Paul. Welcome to the show. I think she's going to be in here for a little bit. The nurse, former combat medic, whose job title has oodles of foreshadowing, has triple and quadruply crossed Red and friends, even faking killing a man to get Red's buy-in. Do you like her now that she seems to be on Red's side?
I liked her last week, even though whether she was on his side or Caterina's side, I just like her.
So did I.
I like the actress. I like what she's doing with the role. Yeah, I definitely would like to see her a little bit more. This is a fun play on things. And then she has a nice conversation with Dembe as well.
It was like a moment, wasn't it? It was a little bit of a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Little sparks flying a little bit.
And she handles the shotgun pretty well.
Oh, I thought she was really fun because she did. You never know with these side characters if they're going to be somebody you want them to come back or not. There's a few that, okay, you're entertaining, but they may be a little over the top. They might be a little underplayed, whatever. I think she was spot on. She did a great job of making a character who was kind of despicable in ways if you're on Red's side, which most of us are, right? Even though he's a bad guy, we're still kind of on his side. So she's kind of against our main character and then has a change of heart. And then you find out like she has a humanity about her. And I just love the way she played it. So she's one of those where I said this last week, I really wanted her to stick around. Now after this, I want her to be like a bigger part of the ensemble. And we know there's room because Mojan is no longer on the show. So there's room for one more character. If we need someone, I'm just saying, hint, hint.
Yeah, but at the same time, these people that usually are like, and now you're mine and you can't leave until you're done with me. He says that and then you never see him again.
They end up dead.
Or they're doing something else for the syndicate somewhere else in his empire, but he's not really part of the practical moment in the front and center. I
kind of wonder if now that Mojan is gone, if they're going to use that space, that available space, to kind of have a more eclectic,
like random characters.
Yeah, like random characters. Yeah, like just have people come in and out that Red deals with, to where they can have a few more of those. A few more jelly beans in the world.
Guess remember what was it? The djinn in season 5.
Mm-hmm.
Was the djinn the
4 or 5? One of those.
Yeah, it was.
No, it had 3 or 4.
Was it 3?
3 or 4? It might be 3 or 4.
Man, so long ago.
You're the encyclopedia, man. You're supposed to know this off the top of your head.
Yeah, but by season 7, it's like, what was season 2 again?
That's true.
Oh, yeah, Oria bombing. Senator killed Tom Connolly. Got it. Okay.
Ron Perlman.
We're back in it. Yes, thank you.
No, that was season 1.
No, season 2. That was the memory wipings. Super Bowl episode.
Was that Luther Braxton?
Yeah.
Let's just say yes and roll with it.
Anyways, the Alice, the one that was faking to be the djinn, but wasn't really the djinn. She ended up being on Red's payroll, but we haven't seen her ever since. So yeah, this opens up, like, bring some of those fun characters back from past seasons that are technically on the payroll.
That would be fun.
Like, what's his little his technology friend that's under the age of 21, went to the high school prom last year. Bring him back a couple times, or whatever.
There's a lot of characters.
Whatever happened to the new cleaners, the Asian couple?
I'm sure they're still there. I mean, they got to be, when they need something clean, they show up.
Yeah, just haven't had to clean.
You don't need to be around unless you're cleaning something. I mean, that's literally your job.
Couldn't clean up all that blood that was laying on the floor.
Do you believe she didn't do this for the money?
I don't think she did it for the money.
No?
Because if she would have done it for the money, she would have taken the money and left. And then by her coming back in and saying, hey, FYI, I messed up, she's coming for you. I think that clearly shows that she knows that she's a good person and the Red's a good person, and she's trying to wrestle with that. But then at the end of the episode, she's like, wait a minute, like, you're the number one dude on the list. Like, why are you working? Like, I don't get it. So it's interesting to see where her loyalties are going to lie, because she's still questioning why he's being allowed to be set free, being let go, versus before when he was talking to Dembe, like, oh, he's a good man and he's really nice and I kind of like him. And
well, Frankie lets us know the con was Caterina thinks Red knows how to stop them, the attack on her or whatever, and wants him to tell her who the assassins are and what he knows about the assassins and safe houses. That seems to be what she wants to know. Red is keeping her on retainer until the debt is paid, so she will be around for a little bit. But we did find out what Caterina wanted.
Yeah, she wants to know who tipped off the Townsend directive, who from the Townsend directive is coming after her, so
and where
she
the
can
safe houses are.
Save herself, basically.
Yep. So we need to find out more about what the Townsend directive is. I'm sure that's coming in upcoming episodes. And what Caterina's end game is there.
And
All right, Liz.
And more importantly, the fact that Caterina is willing to kill Red in order to get that information. That's like a big, like, what? Like,
is she, though?
I don't know. I think she would have kept that blood draining.
I mean,
because when she got to Dom,
yeah. But let's dial it back a second.
But if you lose Dom and Red together at the same time in the same episode, like, then she has nobody to get the answers from. So she has to keep one of them alive.
Well, she wasn't going to kill them both. I mean, she tried to do the crazy setup for Red. She said many times she didn't want to hurt him, but she had to do what she had to do to stay alive. She then tried different approaches. She once again tried the nurse. She used the nurse to get her to Dom. She was going to take Dom alive, but she thinks Dom betrayed her, so I don't think she has as many qualms about killing him, but she didn't want to hurt Red. She said that several times. I truly believe she didn't want to hurt Red. Red was just kind of, because he wouldn't give anything up, was pushing her toward it. They obviously had a falling out that we have not seen yet.
In Belgrade, apparently.
Yes, apparently in Belgrade. We don't know what happened there, but we really need to, don't we?
Maybe there's an episode coming up in the world called Belgrade.
Maybe. Liz, let's move on to Liz. I brought Agnes home thinking my mother was not a threat. Wrong. Bad call.
Depends.
Sorry, Mom.
How loud does she watch her TV across the hall? Does it bother you when you go to sleep at night?
Well, we know that the task force saved everybody in time, so we have that. But then we have Liz having a conversation with Red, because she really, even Liz really doesn't do a ton this episode, because she's just searching for Red and they're bouncing around trying to find him. But here's two major points from their conversations. One, what happened You did. You and Wrestler. That name and questions she was asking is what brought all this back, and that's why your grandpa is dying on a table.
In the lumberyard.
Yeah. Is that fair? And this is I kind of mentioned it earlier. Is that fair that Red dropped all of that on her plate? Is that fair?
To the question that she asked, why is my grandfather in the lumberyard? Absolutely. Your questions and your poking and your snooping is what put your grandfather in this place. So yeah, that is on you. At the same time, like you were saying, though, if Red would have been just a little bit honest, maybe it wouldn't have had come to that. But at the same time, we don't know what the secret is. I mean, if there's a secret that you just like, I can't, if this comes out, it ruins my career, it ruins my marriage, it ruins my kids, it ruins everything. Like, you want to keep that secret as close to the chest as you can, and nobody's going to know what that secret is.
You know how I feel about this, and I think everybody listening probably does. That's 7 seasons in. If I was her, I would have... This might be the alcohol talking. I would have grabbed Caterina, grabbed Red, if I could find Caterina, grab Red, and then find a nice dark room and say, Caterina, just do whatever you need to do, because I'm tired of asking questions myself. And then I would just wait. That's what I would do. Because I honestly believe she deserves to know, even if we don't get to know. I'm actually fine if they craft it in a way where he tells her what is going on, but we don't hear the conversation. Like, it's whispered in her ear or something, and just her eyes light up. Whatever it is, because I do feel like she is not in the wrong. And I was actually visibly angry at Red when he is giving her this guilt trip and trying to make her feel horrible and make her feel responsible for Dom being in the hospital. That just infuriated me, because I'm like, man, do you not take any responsibility for your actions that led to this point either? You take zero responsibility. You keep giving the whole, hey, these aren't your questions, Everything that she's asking directly has impacted her life. She has every right to ask these questions, and I'm tired of people saying she doesn't just because I like Red more. I'm done.
I think we have one of the old classic Team Troy, Team Aaron going on here, because I'm on Red's side, to be quite honest. I'm all like, yeah, if you would have just shut up and done what you're told, I would have given you the answers when I was ready to give you the answers, but because you had to take it onto yourself and you had to be a spoiled brat and get all your stuff.
No, he wouldn't. He was never going to give her answers.
Eventually, when he knew that it was safe and it was appropriate, I'm sure he would have been happy to tell whatever he wanted to tell, but it's in his own time. It's his story to tell. No one else's to figure it out.
I'm looking at it from her perspective. I have seen no indication that he has any intention of telling me anything. I have to find out everything on my own. I ask a question, never gets an answer unless it's something stupid. No.
See,
and I get some stupid story about your childhood.
I
want answers.
Disagree.
I want the truth.
She might figure out the answer, but at the same time, when she says, "Are you my father?" No. Like,
that's literally the only question he's been blatantly honest about.
Did I actually kill my father at the end of season 2? Yes, you did. He gives answers all the time.
Not all the time.
You just don't get the answers you want. And
because those are the questions that matter. Those are the important questions.
I'm aware, but at the same time, you're not entitled to them right now. It's just like,
she is.
Hey, Dad, I want a car for my 16th birthday. Yeah, but you're getting D's, so you're not going to get a car. You're not entitled to it. You'll get it when you earn it.
Well, now she's got to earn the right to know her past.
She's the right.
That's ridiculous.
She needs to earn the right to know Red's secret, and Red's secret might have anything to do with her past.
Everything she's asking directly affects her life. It's because of things that have happened in her life. Her husband has died because of this nonsense. Everything she's asking directly relates to her life. She is 100% entitled to ask those questions and get some semblance of an answer, and not be treated like she's being a spoiled brat because she asked, or because she got her, because she's curious, because she wants to know her own life. It's her fault that Dom got. No. It's Red's fault because you're so stubborn. Tell Caterina what she wants to know. Didn't seem like she's asking a whole lot.
I don't know.
Just saying.
Team Aaron.
Sounds like maybe you're stubborn.
Team Aaron if you're on Liz's side. Team Troy if you're on Red's side. sound it off at the Blacklist GSM on Twitter. You can go ahead. We'll put a poll up there, and then you can see what happens. We'll see where people land on this issue.
Just remember, Red is the master criminal. Liz is the good guy, as far as I'm concerned. All right, someday I'm going to want answers, and you're going to have to give them to me. Like now. Like right now. Right now. Right now. That's what I was yelling at my TV. I'm like, right now.
I'm picturing you standing in front of Bokenkamp. Bokenkamp is Red, and you're Liz.
It's not even that I want them for me. I just want her to have them.
Gotcha.
You can do it. Yeah, that's all I want.
Would that suck, though? I mean, let's say Red whispers everything to her.
That wouldn't bother me at all.
And she gets it all, and then it cuts to black, and it's like a Sopranos moment. Like, you don't know the answer.
I mean, it would be if it was the end of the series or something. That would suck. But if it's like a season finale or mid-season finale and that happened, no, that wouldn't bother me at all. I think that would be actually kind of cool. Like, all right, so at least she knows. Now, the audience isn't going to know until whenever, but at least she knows. And, you know, we basically don't have that information. It would be really hard for them to write around that, I'm sure, but still.
All right.
Okay, Dom. The Dennehy returns.
Yeah.
She knows you tried to kill her. Your own daughter wants to kill you because you tried to kill her. She broke my heart, made choices I couldn't understand. I did what I thought was necessary. Did I make mistakes? Yes. If I die, I will take to my grave knowing I did what I did to protect my own.
What's his own is the question. His country, his house.
I think it's pretty obvious. He's talking about his kid.
But he tried to kill her.
He did to protect his own, but she knows you tried to kill her. Your own daughter wants to kill you because you tried to kill her, ? She broke my heart, made choices I couldn't understand. I did what I thought was necessary. Did I make mistakes? Yes. If I die, I will take to my grave knowing I did what I did to protect my own. We actually don't know what his own is. But I will say that very much, to me, implies he 100% believes this is Caterina, his daughter.
Yes, 100%.
I have no doubts about that. So, you know, I know there's a lot of people out there that are very passionate. They still believe in Red Arena. That's good. Good for you. I feel like, I gotta say, man, I feel like it's pretty cemented in my book. Like, I don't see any wiggle room left. Do you?
Well, and as I'm listening to this, I'm actually going in my head thinking, yeah, this kind of sounds like Aaron's theory might actually work here. Because if Dom tried to stop Caterina and he was protecting his own, then maybe his own was Caterina's brother, Dom's son. And that's why Dom and Red have this weird relationship of love-hate, because they seem like family, but they're not really family. But so, yeah, I mean, your theory like came screaming at my face in this entire part of the show tonight.
Which I will recap. I have gotten, like, the past week, I've gotten a lot of people who have reached out. What is your theory about who, if you don't believe in Red Arena, who do you think it is? So I'll recap it when we get to Red.
All right.
But do you feel like there's much wiggle room left for Red Arena? Honestly, I mean, I know it's been fun for 6 seasons and everything else, but do you see a lot of wiggle room? Because I do. Well,
it's like the first time I watched the episode, I'm going, why the hell would Caterina kill her own dad? Like, it seemed like they were on good terms when we saw it in Rosfiat. And then why would Caterina in the hallway, if this is the first time she's seen Liz in I don't know how many years, again, that's conjecture. We don't know what's happened in the 30-year period between 1990 and now. But if this is the first time she's ever seen her daughter face to face since giving her away to Sam, like, why would she be like so randomly weird in the hallway like she was? And because of that, those are the things that like go, okay, maybe Red Arena is still alive and this woman is not Caterina. But at the same time, everybody addresses her as Caterina. Dembe does, Dom does, Red does. Everybody's like, yep, she's the real deal and she's coming to kill us all. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So maybe I was 80-20 last week. Now I'm back to 99-1 again.
I'm still 100.
You've always been 100.
I haven't really wavered. I've tried to be respectful because, I mean, there was some stuff where, I could see your argument to a degree. Never really fit, but, you know, I was trying to be polite.
Gosh, and did I get the emails this week? Holy cow.
Did you really?
Yeah. I was like, I put it out there. I was like, well, maybe Red Arena is dead and here's why. And if you go apply some things to past episodes, like here's how you can justify some other concept now because we have new information. And it's just whenever you have science, you have a hypothesis and you have to test the hypothesis to have a theory that actually holds. And so now that we have new information, we have to retest the hypothesis. And I'm finding spots where it can be like, oh, well, it could go that way because you now have the new information. And man, did I get like, what's Troy doing? Like, Troy's jumped off the deep. What's wrong with Troy? What's going to happen to the podcast?
It's going to be the same. We're just going to move forward.
We're going to talk about new stuff. Like, what the hell happened in the last 30 years? And what the hell is Belgrade? And
yeah, Belgrade got really exciting. All right, Caterina. Let's move on to Caterina. The Townsend directive is her death sentence for some reason. The only way to stay alive is to give them what they want, and she needs Red to tell her what it is they want. What is it?
They want to know who she is. She's the ghost. She's the myth. She's the legend. Like, who is Katarina Rostova? They want to know the answer and bring her home and then beat the ever-living crap out of her because she defected from her country.
Yeah, she obviously has to have some information that they don't want us to know that she's been protecting for many, many years.
Yeah, maybe
that's
she was.
I can think of.
Maybe she was a cabal, KGB. Maybe she was even CIA for a time as a double spy. And maybe this is some directive that we don't even know about. It's either a cabal-like, or maybe it's even directly related to the states. We don't know. We don't know who they work for.
No, we don't. We don't know much about them at all. But when she's having a private conversation with the illusionist, she says, "I don't want this. I never planned on killing him." Do you think she would have? Because I don't. I personally said, like I said earlier, I don't think she would have. You think she would? It sounds like.
If she was desperate enough, I think she would.
Okay.
She seems pretty desperate. I mean, if you look at Red, he tends to be a little bit more sympathetic over the years. Like, he's sympathetic with Mila and Francesca in this episode, right? I'm not going to kill you, even though I should, but because you did like this one thing that was a good thing, I'll let you live. Versus Caterina was like, hey, you did this one good thing and you let me know that everything was going down, and I'm still going to put a bullet in your head in the back of a car. So she's a little more ruthless. So I think that if push came to shove, she would.
Okay. I mean, I guess we'll find out, right? I mean, well, you won't find out because she'll never actually kill Red on the show, not unless it was the very last episode, because that'd be weird. So here's a big monologue she got where she kind of let everybody in on her. Everything I cared about died that day. Your life for myself, my family. You blew all that up. Dom promised me no one would get hurt. He said he loved his child and just wanted her to be safe. Do I seem safe to you? That to me indicates Caterina, by the way. I just want to say. Mm-hmm. Hunted, chased in the shadows. What I want is my family back. No one can give me that back, least of all you. She's talking to Red this whole time. You can't give me what I want, but you can give me what I need. You want me to believe you had nothing to do with Belgrade. Then prove it. Who's coming for me? How many? Most importantly, the truth. The truth. There's something she doesn't even know. And she needs to know from Red. And also, whatever happened in Belgrade, like, I know you keep referring to Dom, where he said the last time he saw her was in the rearview mirror, right?
Yeah, at the post office.
Right. That's what he said. Now, isn't it possible, because I know you were stuck on the Ilya story and everything else, isn't it possible that he did see her at another time, but also saw her in the rear view at that moment as well?
Very possible.
So it would easily work that way, in my opinion.
Yeah, he could have been stalking the post office box, waiting for her to show up, seen her in the rearview mirror, but never approached her because of whatever happened in Belgrade, and it could have happened after Belgrade.
So there's a lot of possibilities to how that played out.
Yeah, that's the hardest part about the show, is that you have to sit there and you have to take the information you're given and test it in all different kinds of concepts and scenarios, because you can't just assume it's chronological.
So what did you make of her speech here? Because to me, here's what I got out of it. Confirms this is Katerina Rostova we're dealing with. Confirms that she feels slighted and burned by Dom and Red for some reason. Confirmed that Dom and Red have known each other for a very long time. They have a very intimate relationship, more so, well, not more so, but pretty much akin to what we thought. And to me, like, several things were confirmed by that speech. What do you think?
I would say, so this is where the people are going to like, oh my God, no. But nothing is really confirmed in the speech because, and again, we both agree that this would be dumb, right? This would be a jump the shark moment if it was a double switch. right? But if it was a double switch, Ilya could be saying these exact same words very easily.
Wait. What kind of double switch?
Well, if Katarina was true and then Katerina was actually Ilya.
Oh my God, man.
But if that was the case, you could say that these are the same things that Ilya could be saying also.
Ridiculous.
I agree with you 100%.
Do you know how many groups they would offend just by even trying to do that, whether they nailed it or not? You know how many groups across the internet would just rip this show apart if they even tried that? That's just so bizarre to me to even consider that as an option.
I'm with you. I think the double switch would be a really bad thing for the show. I'm just saying, if it was a double switch, these words could very easily also be spoken by Ilya. So I don't think that the words confirm anything, but I do think it's a very specific conversation between very specific people.
So the absolutely, I would say, most least possible scenario is one that actually gets considered versus the obvious solution, which is she's just Caterina Rostova.
It was
just Caterina.
It was
Rostova.
Obvious that he was the dad too, and then he wasn't.
I don't think that was obvious because I don't think you and I never really felt that he was.
Well, we didn't feel, but there was a DNA test. It was pretty obvious to most people.
I think we all knew that was pretty much junk. We knew that there was more to that. This, to me, this cements it. The idea of a double switch, and I've heard this a couple of times. Look, it's okay. Have your theory. That's fine if you can substantiate it. But I can almost guarantee they would never even attempt that because it's just, this day and age, never happened. Never happened. It's just too far-fetched, and it's really kind of offensive if you think about it.
But if they did do a double switch...
And if a UFO landed, we found out that Red Reddington was an alien the whole time, that's theoretically a possibility, correct?
Well,
that's just as possible as the double switch. Each person reverting to the opposite sex to have what? That's ludicrous.
But if it's a double switch, though.
Oh my God. I'm not going to if that one. I won't because it makes no sense at all.
Because Katerina would have been like, yeah, become Reddington. That sounds cool. That's like a great idea. Ilya would have been like, but we have to do this. We have to do this double switch. I think Ilya would be more impacted by what would have happened and gone down than Katerina would have. So that's why these words seem very interesting. Because I
cannot fathom nor acknowledge that as a possibility. I just feel like just even saying that's a possibility would be bad. So no, I won't. I will not. There's zero positive. There's a better chance Fox Mulder is behind all of this than that being a possibility. My opinion.
I was just trying to put it out there to say, like you said, that this doesn't confirm anything.
It confirms it's not a double switch. I can tell you that. I can confirm that. I'll confirm it for you. I don't write for this show. I don't have any inside knowledge, but I can confirm that. Not a double switch. Take my word for it. Take it to the bank.
Agree.
Okay. I just want to know about Belgrade. Red. Now this is I've gotten a lot of messages and whatnot, and I just want to elaborate. Here's my theory. A lot of people ask, well, what is your theory, Aaron? If you don't believe in Red Arena, and I got a lot of snarky ones too, which I respect. You know, I can respect a good snark if you word it right. What is your theory? If you don't believe in Red Arena, what is your theory? And I've had pretty much the same theory for a while, but let me explain it because if you're new to the show or new to the podcast, you might not know what it was.
It's even on the Season 6 Blu-ray.
There you go. It's even on the Season 6 Blu-ray. This has been my theory for a long time, that Red Reddington, the one that we're seeing, is actually Liz's uncle. So here's how it works. My working theory goes like this. Red is Katerina's brother, Dom's son. Caterina and this Red that we're seeing, James Spader, were childhood friends with Ilya, who came up with the scheme. And perhaps they both loved Ilya in their own way. I don't know. I haven't figured that out. But they said that they shared a soulmate. That makes perfect sense to me. Ilya was their soulmate, in a way. The cabal of Russia went after our Red's family, killed them, and he elected to take on Red Reddington's persona to both exact vengeance, protect his sister, and look after his niece. Now, when I say that killed his family and elected to take over Red, so, we see someone go under the knife in the Ilya episode. We don't see who it is. In my opinion, that is, at this point, I don't see any, this is like my working theory, that it's Katerina's brother that's actually going under the knife, and he's taking the percent. Ilya came up with the idea, but her brother's the one that actually did that. It would explain a lot of things, including why he's so close to Dom, why he's protective, and, brothers and sisters, they do fight, and they do get messy sometimes. So I'm 100% on board with that. At this point, anything I missed? I mean, I've had this theory for a long time, so it's not like it's new.
Yeah, in Dom's speech, like we just talked about, I did what I did to protect my own. I mean, that really falls into making your theory look very plausible.
Especially if his family died because of Caterina in some way, because of her doings, her brother's family died in some way because of that. That's just kind of where my head's at, my headspace and stuff.
And then everybody's like, "Oh, but they kissed on the lips at the end of the 6th season." And I was like, well, maybe that's for appearances. Maybe sometimes that's how people greet each other.
I've seen family members kiss like that before.
For sure.
Yep. It's happened. And, you blew all that up when she said that. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because she took on the persona of Red Reddington, that could be not necessarily literal. It could be a euphemism. I don't know. But that's where I'm at this point. And I'm sure, like everybody's theory on this show, it's going to bend, it's going to mold, it's going to contrast, it's going to contract, it's going to do a lot of things. So I don't adhere to anything. I'm open to almost any theory.
Except the Switch.
I'm not open to that at all. All right. So Red, he said he never betrayed her. Do you believe him?
Red never betrayed her. I don't know.
I never betrayed you is what he said to Caterina. I never betrayed you, which means to me, that's one more time it's Caterina.
I agree with Red's statement because Red has always lived by the same mantra: value loyalty above all else. That is Red's mantra. So when Red says, "I never betrayed you," I believe Red because I believe he values loyalty. Dom could have betrayed her. I could buy that. But Red? No, Red never would have betrayed. He would have stuck to the plan, the mission, whatever it is that's going on. If I use the show as information.
Yes, you should. And honestly, Red, outside that, I think we've covered everything else Red has done. Did I miss anything? Because we covered up his actions and other characters.
Yeah, no, the only thing that was interesting was Dembe. Dembe was going to enact the protocol because he hadn't heard from Red for a few days.
Yes, yeah. So we know that there is still a standing protocol.
What that is, I have no flipping clue.
Well, it's got to be partly. Does he get to go to the island? He gets to go to the island, right? Is that still there?
I don't know. It moves all the time.
Not that island. The real island.
Every chance you get, just stick it in there. Turn it a little bit.
This is why I'm always so lost. We we end with Caterina moved in next door to Liz and giving a very non-motherly, ominous look after she says, "You remind me of my granddaughter," which is obviously a play on the fact that she's probably this woman's granddaughter. My question is, the end look.
It's creepy as hell.
It was creepy as hell, and you go back and you rewatch it a couple times, and I can't.
It's that look that makes me go, yeah. I don't know if this is Caterina.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. It's very much a look of now.
Like I know.
Still don't think there's a double switch ever possible, but I will say it does make me go,
And we said that at the end of last season. We're just like, is this really Caterina or someone that just knows a lot of information and trying to use that information to get ahead to find the real Caterina?
But wouldn't you? I've thought a lot about that because, okay, this show it can be diabolical, but everything I've seen in the last 2 episodes has indicated that, yes, this is actually Caterina Rostova. Like the show is moving forward. It's 7 seasons in. It has an end game in mind, whatever that end game is or however many seasons it's going to take. But Caterina has always been a part of it. And they kind of got to the point where they needed to tell her story or bring her back into the fold. Now, it could be, sure, I guess it's possible that this is fake arena. I mean, I'll swallow that. This could be a fake arena. But everything I've seen implies that this woman was personally affected by the events. That, to me, says it is Katerina Rostova, and we should see her as such.
Right, because if Red, as the imposter, can do such a good job being Raymond Reddington and faking all these people for 30-plus years, who's to say that someone else can't be just as good of a con artist playing the other side of the coin?
It's possible, but that also, it just seems like a stretch to me. It feels like a stretch in credibility for the show to do that, and I don't really want to picture that happening, and I don't think it's happening. I really do believe it's Katerina Rostova. That look made it 99.9% sure it's Katerina. So I have 0.01 that says, but 0% thinks it's a double switch. I just want to reiterate that in case anybody was wondering, maybe it's coming. No, it's 0.
So that means if you're ranking it as fake arena and double switch, then Red Arena would still be above the double switch.
Red Arena would be miles above the double switch, and I don't even think Red Arena is possible. So that should give you an indication of where I stand. If I haven't been clear, I don't know if I've been clear, but I just want to make sure that I've been clear.
Yes, I agree with you. Double switch, bad idea. And it'll probably end up being the thing that ends the show.
No,
it'll be smacked in the face.
Better odds that Fox Mulder drives a spaceship and lands it in Red Reddington's house.
I would say
better odds.
I would say after the first 2 episodes of this season, I feel like it has been more like just give you answers, give you what you see on the screen is what it is. I feel like they're just driving story home and introducing new elements. Like you're introducing the Townsend Directive, you're introducing Belgrade. They're introducing new things. And so the new things are the things we should be focusing on, not the last 6 years. And maybe that's intentional. Maybe that's to throw you off the scent.
No, I do agree with that, because the last episode we got that basic recap of the events getting us to this point. I do believe that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to say, okay, here's all the major details you need to know. Let's move forward. That's what now that we have 2 episodes, that's where I'm landing. And it feels like that's where we should be at this point in the show. We should be taking things for face value and moving forward. Now, should there still be some mystery? There's still a few twists and turns. And is Ilya really Red, or is that really maybe somebody else that we don't know yet? We don't know their name. We don't know officially who they are. Yes, that's possible.
Yeah, still got Sea Duke floating out there too.
Yep. And I got a feeling I don't want to say, but I've read some things that we're going to get some character backstories this season, or at least, so I think we got some stuff to look forward to.
Yeah. You can go read the press releases for yourself if you so want to be spoiled.
There you go. I wouldn't call it a spoiler, but I mean, you're going to get some backstory.
It's going to be in your TV guide in the next 3 or 5 days, because you get the 10-day look ahead.
Yep.
So you're going to know what's coming, and let me tell you, it's going to be interesting.
Yes, it will. Well, we want to take a quick second to say thank you to those of you that are supporting our show by going to Patreon. That's Patreon, patreon.com/theblacklistgsm. Interviews are posted there, as well as the panel from S7E2 is there, and even after the panel special podcast that we did. You can't get it anywhere else. And if we hit $500, we will do a show live on camera, so you can look at our glorious faces. And I might even drink for that. Yeah. Just because.
Red Solo cups all around.
And if you can make it, that's what I'm drinking. That's what Red Solo cup. Cheers. And if you can make it happen to hit $1,000 a month, we'll work on a meetup to watch the season finale live in person.
That would be fun. That's Patreon, patreon.com/theblacklistgsm. Fill the fedora, get some awesome rewards for yourself. Got t-shirts, got coffee mugs. They look really great. You can even drink your drink right out of the coffee mug if you want to do that at the $20 level. So be sure to head over there, Patreon, patreon.com/theblacklistgsm. We'll be back with Red's Rhetoric right after this.
What if you could live your life without limits, where every desire you ever imagined could be fulfilled? Experience Westworld, a show where every human's dark side will be revealed. After watching each episode, listen to Beyond Westworld, a podcast featuring humans and hosts from around the park, diving deep into HBO's illustrative narrative. Every hero has a code, and so do you. Download your itinerary and the show at beyondwestworldpodcast.com or your podcast app of choice.
Hi, it's Megan Boone, and you're listening to Blacklist Exposed on Golden Spiral Media.
Now, Aaron's all excited because we're doing Red's Rhetoric different this week.
Yeah, what does that mean, man?
So,
explain this to me because I legitimately have no idea.
So normally this part of the show, we do 2 scenes from Red that kind of showcase one of his little fun stories. And then you guys get to vote which one's your favorite over on the website at theblacklistexposed.com. Make sure you look for the Louis T. Steinhil conclusion post, not the other one, because that was last week's results. But this week, we're actually going to do 4 stories instead of 2. And the way we're going to do this is because...
Wait, what?
Yes.
4 stories. Okay.
4 stories, because in this episode, you see compassionate Red and compare that to ruthless Red. And that happens with 2 different characters, one being Frankie and one being Liz. So we're going to play the compassionate and the not so compassionate sides of Red for each of these. And first, we'll take a look at the compassionate first versus ruthless side of Red as he talks to Francesca.
How long do I have?
Half an hour? Maybe less.
I've met my share of killers. I know who has the capacity to take a human life. I know the look in their eyes. You don't have it. I've been trying to decide what to do about you. I suppose by warning us you saved our lives, but you're also a large part of the reason our lives needed saving. The things you've done, I've killed others for less. I appreciate what you did for Dom. It's the reason you're still alive. But to be clear, it does not make us even.
Our second, the ruthless side of Red versus the compassionate side of Red as he talks with Liz.
Not now, Elizabeth.
Yes, now. Someone out there thinks Caterina Rostova is still alive, and clearly they think you know more than you're saying.
That isn't a question.
Who grabbed you in Paris? Who tortured you? Why is my grandfather dying in a lumber yard? My question is, what the hell happened?
You did it. You and Agent Wrestler.
Excuse me?
How many times have I told you, leave it alone? I warned you. Even saying the name Caterina Rostova has consequences, and now you see. Now you see what that name will make others do. These questions of yours have gotten their attention, and now they will crawl out of whatever hole they were in, and they will hurt whomever they must, just on the chance, just on the notion that she might still be alive. What happened? Elizabeth, you raised an old ghost, and that's why your grandfather is dying in a lumberyard.
I didn't realize you 2 were close.
I've known Dom a long time. Most of it's been unpleasant. Still, something happens when you've known someone that long. But after all of life's twists and turns, you look over and there they are, still in it with you, still yours.
Which was your favorite? If you like Frankie are not going anywhere when you're with Red, vote #RedTrapped. Or if you feel a soft spot as Red sits by Dom's side, vote #RedYours.
All right, Special Agent Intel. We said last week we weren't going to do that until we had both episodes. Now we have both episodes, so we're going to touch on some stuff.
And we're going to do Special Agent Intel a little bit differently too throughout the season.
What are we changing everything? Is this a double switch?
It's a double switch.
What are we doing now?
Well, instead of actually just kind of recapping the episode because we did all that for you in the last hour, we're actually going to pull feedback that specifically has like a cool theory or something that adds a little bit something new. So really kind of come up with some really awesome insights when you guys submit your feedback, because we're only going to feature maybe just a handful, 3 to 5 at the most, of the most interesting things we found through the course of the week. It won't actually be feedback from the particular episode itself. We'll do that during the profiling question at the top of the show.
Oh, yeah. Kira Adler, did anyone else pick up on the big difference between Red and Katarina's networks? Red, as Liz said, is about taking on burdens, rewards, loyalty, provides for his people's family, Kaplan's cleaning ladies, etc. Caterina kills the man who shows loyalty and compassion towards her because, as she says, her world cannot have kindness. This dichotomy really makes me wonder what this means for Liz, who's become accustomed to Red's way and only knows her mother as the figure she described to Cooper. That is fascinating. But I mean, Red is pretty ruthless too. He's killed a lot of people. I mean, and he didn't bother going after Kaplan when he needed to. I mean, he did try to save her, I guess, a couple times, but
he only kills people that deserve it.
I mean, he shot her in the head too. That was pretty ruthless.
That's just because he has to follow through. If he doesn't follow through, then he's looked at as soft.
I mean,
she did betray him. She did betray him.
Still, it's Kaplan.
Well, Wild Bill from Hawaii checked in and said, I've watched this damn show 24 times. Man, that's a lot of Blacklist. Ilya and Caterina in the motel scene. We pledged our lives. Yes, but we were 6. The man on the bench, to Raymond, said pretty much the same thing. Then you flash back to the fight at the beach at Cape May, and both Caterina and Red are there. Dom and Katarina in his Moscow apartment during the shootout, Dom says, hi, Ilya, or some such, and clearly knowing and viewing Ilya as a friendly face. Yet whenever Dom and Raymond meet, they speak English and use Raymond and always seem at odds. Why is Caterina such a bitch now? Sure, wow. There is likely all sort of mythology during the intervening years that we haven't seen. However, something just is not flushing out. It's a fabulous show, but we need answers and a happy ending. Otherwise, this year will be a flop.
I don't need a happy ending. I just need a great ending. I mean, look at some of the best shows on TV. That definitely not Lost. So if you look at some of the great shows on TV with wonderful endings, they're not always happy. Breaking Bad's a prime example. That ending was not a happy ending. In fact, I mean, I guess you could say Jesse's story got a happy ending, but did it really? I mean, eek. So yeah,
Sopranos wasn't a happy ending.
No, I don't even know if they had an ending. They just faded to black.
Right.
Justified had a happy ending, I guess, of sorts. And that's probably one of my favorite all-time endings of any show. I will say, many of what you said, I can, and not because I'm stuck to it. It's just, I legitimately think they'll fit in my theory. If Red is a Dom's son, and Ilya is a childhood friend, and Caterina is also, around that same time, they could have all pledged their lives together at 6, and it fits. So to me, nothing that you describe changes how I feel, and not that, but I'm open to just about anything. I'm not like a lot of people that are stuck on theories. I'm wide open to new stuff,
except switching,
except double switch.
All right, Petri Kakonen. Maybe there was... I've
heard it both ways.
Yeah. Maybe there was some memory work done on Caterina. Like with Liz. That would explain why she would turn on Red. Maybe there's been some false memories implanted in her and some taken away. What do you think of that?
I like that. And then there have been many, I don't know if studies or other movies, whatever, where Russian agents are triggered in a way. So maybe Red doesn't want to give her information because he's afraid that she can't contain it. She's an asset to a degree, that they could trigger her to divulge that information without her realizing it. Maybe say a code phrase that she snaps in and she delivers the information without even realizing she's doing it. Maybe, she could be a trained asset without her knowing it.
Very possible.
Weird one, but yeah, it's an option.
I do like it. And that would explain why she's like coming to kill her dad and doesn't really like her daughter and all that other fun stuff.
If she doesn't really like it could just be being played ominously.
Correct.
Jeanette Santiago, Caterina wouldn't say Elizabeth. She'd call her Masha. I don't know about that. I mean, she's kind of known as Elizabeth at this point.
And we've already talked about that on the show quite a bit. The characters that we see today are the characters we know today, so they're called by the names that they are today, not what they were.
Yeah, I mean, I do think. I mean, she's been Elizabeth Keene even to her mother for a long time because I'm sure she obviously knew she was alive. So I could see her adopting to that. But I can also see where Jeanette's coming from to a degree. Another reason why I don't believe this woman is the real thing. There's no reason why she would go after Dom, seeing as how the last time Dom saw his daughter was in a rearview mirror after she'd given him a key to a P.O. box she set up and gave a key to her mother. Dom said that was the last time he saw his beloved Caterina. Red also confirms he knows the story of Caterina in the rearview mirror because he tells Dom the car, and Dom says yes. Again, we don't. We assume that. We don't know that was the last time.
Yeah, no time of reference. We just know it's a story.
Yep.
All right, Nath Thomas said, maybe this links to Dembe's line at the end of season 4. I don't think Elizabeth will ever be ready to learn about what you did to Caterina.
Mm-hmm. And my guess is that might be what happened in Belgrade.
Very possible. See, now you start taking new information, applying your hypothesis back to old information, and you get a whole new perspective.
And I will say there was an interesting interview with John Bokenkamp. What? And I'm pouring another one out for my homies. Where he... I don't even know what that meant. But he indicated that they go back every season and they kind of look at past information and just try to make sure that they're playing fair with the audience. And he said... Even now, even 7 seasons in, if you go back and look at it historically, they have played fair to the audience. So I feel like everything we've seen is accurate. It's just how we interpret it.
Correct.
So take that for what you will.
That's because when you see that line, I don't think Elizabeth will ever be ready to learn about what you did to Caterina.
Mm-hmm.
You killed Caterina. You became Caterina. It's
how you interpret it.
Slept with Caterina's husband. I don't know. But a whole bunch of things could be applied there because it's how you interpret it. Now that you have information about Belgrade, you can say, oh, maybe this was just as simple as you betrayed Caterina.
Yep.
So
exactly.
And it would still
in a horrible
work.
way. In a horrible way. We don't know. Robino, wait, what about this? Are Ilya and Alexander Kirk brothers? Is that why both may have the same blood ailment? Is that what our Red told Kirk?
That's interesting.
It's not impossible.
So he is a Rostov. Huh.
Interesting.
Huh. Does that still work with your...
No. Nope, doesn't work with my theory, but hey,
they
my theory is not
they would
concrete.
be brothers then he would be Katerina's brother by marriage and still Liz's uncle.
But wasn't she getting with Kirk because he had, it was an assignment?
Well, sure. She was doing that with everybody. Everybody was an assignment.
Yeah, but what are the odds? A childhood friend and then his brother's an assignment? It just feels like a reach to me.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that are reached in the show. You never know.
Military families. Families that spy together, stay together.
I'm not taking it off the table, Rob. I'm not taking it off the table. That's what I would say.
It's a good thought.
As long as it's not double switch, I'm on board.
Lauren said, anyone else notice the messianic comparisons and symbolisms the show makes to Red? What do you all think the reason is for this? It's in pretty much every episode. Somehow he's representing a picture of Christ, for example, at one point, draining his blood, tied up to a fence like this week. Or in other episodes, he's like basically Lucifer.
Well, you're the Bible man. Do you see that?
I definitely see the symbolism. I just don't know what it's supposed to mean. So if he's the Christ figure, then he's obviously giving his life for someone else to take away. Like you said, he's a sin eater, right? If he's a sin eater, that's definitely what Christ was, right? Christ was the sin eater. He took all our sin from us to die on the cross and rise again. But at the same time, he's like, hell hath no fury than person that crosses me. And that's really more on the Lucifer side of things. So, yeah, it's an interesting dichotomy.
I'm going to take it a different way. Maybe this is from Liz's direction. And she's just, the symbolism is to really put you in Liz's mindset to where she's like, Christ, would you just answer a question? That's all I got.
I believe you took the Lord's name in vain. I will pray for your soul.
I did, and I'm already going to go to hell, so it's all right. All right, reply from Judith Miller. Yes, I've noticed quite a bit of symbolism, though I have viewed it not as messianic, but rather the idea that he had sacrificed or was sacrificed or will be sacrificed. Not that he is Christ-like, but rather that he is a sacrificial lamb figure. His sacrifice and ultimately whether he is redeemed / forgiven, I love the symbolic level of the show. I would never view it as ridiculous or even odd. It's part of the fabric of the show. Yeah, I would agree with that. I've just never really... I did notice it, obviously, the past 2 weeks, where he's chained up and he's got his arms out and everything. That's pretty obvious, but I don't know if it's an ongoing... If it's an ongoing thing, I haven't really been paying attention to that.
And that fits with my ending, because my ending has always been, like, somehow Red, like, goes down in a hail of bullets or something trying to save Liz's life. So he sacrifices himself for Liz. And then that's when he like gives all the answers. Like, Liz, I am your...
he
and
has
then he
a
dies.
monologue.
And then he dies.
He has a monologue of, okay, here's everything you need to know. Got a pen? You don't want to write this down. It's quite a bit. Or leaves a little tape. The old leaves a tape, and that's where it
he left
everything.
The tape, and it got burned up, right, from the caretaker already.
I think it's going to do it, man, unless you've got some more. I feel like I offended some people with the double switch thing, but I just want to say, like, you're entitled to I'm not knocking anybody's theory. I just don't have to agree with it. Right.
Well, and we said that. We said we didn't like the double switch at the end of last season too.
It's just too far-fetched for me personally. But I don't want to put anybody off. If you firmly believe that and you have evidence to support that, I want to encourage everybody to have whatever theory you've got. We have seen in the group, I do want to say, some people that were trying to get people to stop having the theories, and that's not cool. That's just not cool. Whatever you want to, you can believe whatever you want. If you don't like what somebody else believes, just don't engage them. It's really that easy. That's all you got to do. But let them enjoy the show how they want to enjoy the show.
Yep. Everybody is welcome, and everybody should have a good time.
Absolutely.
And it's always fun, especially when we're here on the Blacklist Exposed at the end of the episode.
Well, that's going to conclude this episode. And I have, hang on,
one last swig of his red Solo cup.
Done. That one's for Eisendrath. I poured that one out. So I got both my homies. All right. 6 seasons are on Netflix. So now is the time to recommend The Blacklist to your friend, enemy, or neighbor. And when you do, please also recommend that they listen and subscribe to the best Blacklist podcast there is out there. The Blacklist Exposed. All the case profiles can be found at theblacklistexposed.com. And everywhere great podcasts can be heard. And even mediocre ones. We're still there.
Yeah, we're everywhere.
We're everywhere.
Yes, we're like a ghost in the wind. And for more great Aaron
we're
and
G-hosts. We're G-hosts in the wind.
That's right. Hey, I'm here with my G-host, Aaron. You can find him at G-host on Twitter. So he's at Aaron Smirks. I'm at Troy Heinrichs. And together we are at the Blacklist GSM. Talk about the show, the podcast, or your favorite torture activity.
Big thanks for listening. Don't forget to answer our profiling question. Is this the Caterina Rostova?
THE, capital letters.
Rostova. All right, guys. Have a great week.
We'll see you.
Until next time, I'm Agent Troy Heinrichs. That's at Troy Heinrichs on Twitter. And if you want to learn more about me, just visit, about.me/Troy Heinrichs.
And I'm Agent Aaron Peterson. You can hear me talking about movies and TV on the Hollywood Outsider podcast, as well as Remake This Movie Right. We are available at thehollywoodoutsiders.com or on Twitter at 5popcorn. Be sure to subscribe, download the app, submit your feedback, but most importantly, keep yourself off of the Blacklist.
The Blacklist Exposed is a Golden Spiral Media production. Find more of our great podcasts at goldenspiralmedia.com/podcasts.